Hello and welcome back to another Pretty HD video. Today we've got another game of the week. This time we're at the Hawthorns for West Bromwich Albion versus Aston Villa, and it's quite an interesting one actually. You've got two sides that are, well, not exactly on their best of forms in their entire span of the club history. I mean, you've got West Bromwich Albion on one hand. Well, it's positive if you told West Brom that they'd be above Chelsea at the start of the season, 22 games in. I think they'd be pretty happy. However, they are above Chelsea nonetheless, 6 points clear of the relegation zone on -8 goal difference. They can't really score. West Brom did not register a shot on target at Southampton. That's only the third time that has happened to a Premier League team this year. And then you've got Villa. Well, they are the bottom of the bottom at the moment. If it wasn't for their draw against Leicester and then their previous win before that, they really would be down in the dumps. They're on 12 points, so at least they've, got to Derby's tally or past it. 1 minute, what was Derby's tally? Was Derby's 12? I think it was 12, or was it 11? It was... Wow, it was 11 points. 11 points, there we go. Just found it. They got 11 points that season. And that is just, well, truly awful. I'm not going to lie. 11 probably isn't the best points tally that you would want to take out of it. And they were 20th for the majority of the season. In fact, they were 20th for all of the season from October, and that has been the same for Villa. But can Villa stay up? Every year it seems we say the same about Villa. They're around about 16th, 17th, and yet suddenly they blossom and they get some sort of run together which can sustain some sort of points, and they stay up. This year it's got to be more of a Leicester of last year, however, because let's be quite frankly honest, it's going to be a lot more difficult. You've got Villa who are 20th, and it's going to be a very, very big challenge for them. They are on 12 points. 17th are on 22. That's 10 points they've got to gain without anybody else gaining points, and was gaining goal difference as well. So in theory they've got to gain 11 points from somewhere. They've got to get them from somewhere. What a perfect opportunity for them. Not only would they get the pride of the Midlands title and the, well, bragging rights in the city or, well, area, they will also have a massive step towards promotion. They are unbeaten in 4 games in all competitions, which is something that they can take out of this season. Basically the best thing they can take out of this season so far. But 2 of them were against Wycombe, which are a League 2 side, and one of them was a draw against Wycombe, which of course isn't the best result. So it's a bit of a vice versa here for Villa. You've got a bit of bad luck and a bit of luck against Leicester. Of course their goal was a blatant handball, so that shouldn't have counted. However, they could have had penalties in that game. And then against Palace you've got a massive stroke of luck with complete mess up from Hennessy. It was like the former Wolves keeper thought, you know what, I'll do Villa a favour and just let it go in. But you've got Villa who can't really defend as such this year. They're struggling in the defensive areas, which is a bit of a weird one, because you'd say the defence is one of the strongest areas in any sense, because it's the place with the strongest player, in my opinion, that is Michael Richards. So then you've got West Brom, who can sort of defend, not amazingly, but they can really defend. Like, Bose Miles had a brilliant season, and it's quite funny actually because Ben Foster's coming back, and he could play his first league games of the season, and it would be against Villa. It'd be a bit of a shame for Bose actually, because he's done decent throughout the year. I think it would be a bit harsh on him really to drop him right at the very cutting edge game. But they can't score. West Brom, they are just notoriously known for the moment for awful football. It is such a boring game to watch, and it's such a shame, because personally I'm not liking Pulis at West Brom. Now many West Brom fans will agree, many West Brom fans will disagree. I've met different types. the two sides of the story. I know West Brom fans that hate him, like genuinely hate Pulis. I know some that like him. I would say I know more that don't really like him though, like genuinely after games at the Hawthorns you hear boos quite a lot these days because they just don't create enough chances. There just isn't that chance creation there, and I mean, I think Villa need to win games now, and it is their deciding game here. Villa's mini revival, as Mark Lawrenson put it, it's not going to be enough. It's just simply not going to be enough. They need so much more. They've drew against Leicester, fair enough, but Leicester have dropped form recently, you must remember. Not dramatically, but dropped enough. Then they, of course, beat Palace, very luckily, but beat them nonetheless. And then they drew and beat Wycombe. But let's just get rid of the Wycombe results. 6 points possible. They've got 4. Where do they go from here? Well, I just can't. I don't know. One part of me wants to say they can do it because they can. It's not impossible. They can do it. It's unlikely. It's not impossible. It's just a little bit unlikely. So basically, it's on one of them borderlines here, because if they stay up this year, they break records. Like they set records in the history books of possibly one of the greatest escapes of all time, depending, of course, when they do it. But the thing is, nonetheless, you've got. I know I'm concentrating a lot on Villa here, and the West Brom aren't exactly safe, but they are progressing a bit better. They are in 13th, which is okay. It's not as good as they've ever been. But this one's so hard to predict purely because you've got a bit of a revived Villa. You can sort of see that in Villa now, you can sort of feel like Villa are the sort of team that once they get maybe 1 or 2 results, you can see the team spirit slightly sort of creeping in, and then suddenly the Villa Impossible do it again, and they will stay up for consecutive seasons yet again. I just feel like Villa are the sort of team that, well, they are crap, like literally they will be crap, but then they'll go and pull out a worldie of a game, a worldie of form, and they will stay up. It always seems to be the same story. They never progress as such. In fact, they've declined this year. They've spent money, in fact, because they've sold Benteke, fair enough, but the players they're bringing in, they might be fine individually in the French Ligue 1, but they're not good when in a team in the Barclays Premier League. And I think the problem is here, Renegard, I think he's going to have a knack of bringing in maybe too many foreign players. And I know that sounds quite harsh, but I think they need a spirit. They need to be together. And if they don't get that spirit, they're not going to stay up. And that is the simple truth of Aston Villa right now in the Premier League. They need a miracle now. And miracles are earned, and miracles are blessed at the same time. You've got the chance. You create your own luck in the Premier League with a bit of a helping hand as well. So Villa need to play well. If they don't play well, they have very little chance. In fact, probably near to none chance of staying up. If they do play well, they have, of course, a lot better chance. Although, of course, the luck could go against them and they could still go down. If they play well, though, and the luck is with them, why not? Why can't they stay up this year? They have it in their side to stay up. Players like Michael Richards are leaders, and they are the sort of players that should be captaining the team to the start. It's such a weird one because you've got Aston Villa, and no matter how bad they do, to me, they always seem to stay up. And it's funny as a Birmingham fan, in fact, seeing them stay up, because I'm like, every year, they're going down this year, and they just don't. And I've got so used to that even now, I genuinely don't believe that it's impossible for them. I've just got a feeling we'll get to the end of the season. Oh yeah, it always happens. No matter where they are, they'll stay up. But we could get to the end of the season, then they could be down. That is a stronger possibility than ever. Because although that has happened often, the stay up thing, Villa staying up all the time, they've never really been in this position. And they are possibly one of the worst teams in recent Premier League history. Literally, 12 points from 22 games is one of the lowest, I believe. In fact, before the win against Crystal Palace, they had gone on what was it, 18 or something game loss streak, or without a win. Was it 18 or was it more like 11? I think it was like 18, and I'm not quite certain on that though, but it was a very high number basically, and I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say for this game, because you've got a feeling that Villa will come out and win it. Yet West Brom, they won the reverse fixture, of course, earlier on in the season, and I just feel like it's weird. I've just got a gut feeling that Villa are going to win this game, and they might not. I could be completely wrong, but I've just got a weird gut feeling, just that little niggle in my gut saying Villa are going to pull off a win here. However, there is that massive doubt that they won't, because, let's be honest, it's not really. Yeah, it's not really inevitable of what is going to occur. Mark Lawrenson says it's going to be 2-0 to West Brom, which I find quite interesting actually. 2-0 to West Brom is a very almost comfortable scoreline, borderline comfortable. And I mean, Villa have scored 8 goals in 11 Premier League games and have picked up just 2 in their subsequent. After only 3 points in their opening day win at Bournemouth, Villa have picked up just 2 in their subsequent 10 Premier League away games since. They've drew 2 and lost 8. They've only got 4 points. They've only got 1 win since Bournemouth, so 2 wins in the entire season. It's just, it's not good enough. That isn't going to keep them up, because you've got a dramatic drop there. You've got to round up. I mentioned this last week. You've got 13 wins, and you go down pretty consistently into the table. You've got 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2. That's a big decline. No wonder that they're behind, because they've got quite a few draws. They've got as many losses as Sunderland, the same losses. Their draws are a lot. They've got 3 more draws, but 3 more losses. So that's where they've lost points. Losses in replacement for draws. Could you believe if they'd have just drew? If they'd have just scored maybe 1, 2 more goals in a few games this year that they were losing, then they could literally be on par with Sunderland, back in the dogfight to escape relegation. Another turn in the tail though was Swansea on Monday, as Swansea managed to get a win against Watford, a 1-0 win. What are my predictions? I've already said a bit earlier. I think Villa could pull it off this game. There's a bit of a doubt that they will pull it off. There's a slight doubt there, because West Brom, although they are very boring to watch and they don't have any ambition whatsoever to do anything, and they play for a draw in almost every game. West Brom, they won the recent derby, and at the moment, in my opinion, of course, they are the better team. No matter how they play, the points are being picked up for West Brom in one way or another, and they are slowly surviving relegation in a sense, because they are only 2 points behind Everton, you've got to remember, and only 4 points behind Liverpool. That's how close this season is. Literally, if Liverpool had a few bad games, they could be dragged into the relegation area, because 13th and 12th are still, I'd say 13th West Brom area is probably about the cut-off, because once it gets to 8, 9 points, that's quite a few. West Brom, 6 points, it's within reach after a few bad games. They could be in 15th, 16th area after a few bad games. But there is no doubting, no matter how both the teams play, discounting how they play or style of football, there's no doubting West Brom statistically are the better team in the Midlands right now over Villa. And if that is anything to go by, then Mark Lawrenson will be correct. So I do thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.